Addressing joint issues is actually really simple. You address the underlying causes and then you get comfort and mobility. You get to move around freely without discomfort. Here are the 5 primary causes for joint problems. Once again, address these, you address joint issues. 1, unhealthy inflammatory responses. Number 2, cartilage breakdown. Number 3, collagen degradation. Number 4, reduced joint lubrication. And 5, oxidative stress. The external causes for these causes are age, overuse, injury, and immune imbalances. That's a way of saying your immune system is hyperreactive, it is overreactive, overactive. That's all I'm allowed to say, okay? So you have immune issues. Those are the primary issues that are causing your joints to be uncomfortable. I'm sure you know these things. The question is, how do you address these things? Hi, my name is Phil. I'm with Silver Fern Brand. So here is my opinion. I think that is based on fact, but here is what I would say the most effective way is to address joint issues. And for that matter, you should be looking for this same approach for every supplement you will ever take. But nonetheless, 1, you want a product that is going to address multiple causes. The fact of the matter is unfortunately there's like there's 5 causes for joint issues, and it's not like there's just 1 or 3. They overlap. If you are going to take a product for joint issues, if you're trying to do it effectively, it needs to address all 5 causes because once again, they're going to overlap. Number 2, you want to be taking clinically validated ingredients at the clinical doses. Why? Because this makes sure that the product has been tested and validated to work. There are a lot of ingredients, believe it or not, that have a name to them, glucosamine, hyaluronic acid, whatever, but the grade spec, the quality of it differs dramatically. And the bioavailability will also vary dramatically. So what you're looking for is clinically validated ingredients at the correct doses that will work, meaning you're more interested in the potency of the ingredient versus the dosing. So I know a lot of people get razzled and dazzled by really large amounts of stuff. That being said, if you have a really high amount of something and it's got a high dose, but the bioavailability and then the spec on the material is shitty, sorry for the language, you're going to have this much benefit. But if you have the right ingredient that has the right spec on it and it has potency, high bioavailability, the material size can be this and the outcome or the potency can be this. So obviously you want what's going to be most effective. Next, time. So here are the facts. Ingredients to address joint issues. Some work quickly and some take time. In order to address everything effectively, it's just going to typically take some time depending on the issue. So what is the answer to all of this? Meaning 1 + 1 + 1 = 3. So what is the answer? The answer is joint complex from our perspective. I am a person who has had joint issues. I've had 5 shoulder surgeries, 2 knee surgeries, elbow surgery. I'm due elbow surgery. I'm due back surgery. I've had neck surgery. I've broken knees, obviously shoulders, ankles, toes, collarbones. I mean, I'm busted up from years of football and rugby and wrestling and just doing stupid shit on a ranch, okay? So I also needed a product that worked. There's a lot of good products, but I would suggest we wanted to create something that was great. So Joint Complex contains 3 clinically studied ingredients at the clinical doses. It contains AprèsFlex, Ovomet, and Collavant N2. Once again, at the clinical doses, so it's got the bioavailability, the clinical research studies to support the ingredient, and it's hitting multiple causes. So you're promoting healthy inflammatory responses, you're promoting cartilage, collagen, lubrication, you're adjusting to oxidative stress issues so that you are correctly helping the joint. And you're helping with the immune response issues that cause the joint issues, which is the Collavant N2. Within these 3 ingredients, you get Boswellia, you get collagen. You get collagen 1, 2, 5, and 10. You get hyaluronic acid, you get glucosamine, and you get chondroitin sulfate. So it's a very broad range of key ingredients, clinically tested and clinically verified products at the clinical doses. So If you like that approach, and by the way, I'm not saying that other joint products aren't good. I'm not saying that, and for that matter, they may be great. I just know in my personal situation, I needed something that worked really well. A lot of products worked okay. I can't say they didn't work. I thought they worked pretty well, but I needed something that took me from discomfort to feeling great and living a normal life, which I felt like Joint Complex did. Then, in addition to that, here's my final thing I would throw out. And this is something that Silver Fern brand does completely different than most companies, believe it or not. I would have assumed companies should have all done this, but they don't. So away from the research. So imagine that research bullshit and you can flush that stuff. You want to make sure it works. So Silver Fern brand does a full audit on the material. Our science team makes sure that we're hitting all the multiple causes, the pathways effectively, using the right doses of the key ingredients so that if joint health is a puzzle, we've got all the pieces, right? And then beyond that, we test it. So how do I know that Joint Complex works? Very simple. I gave it to a lot of people just like me before we launched the product, and they verified it worked. In fact, the way that we know if a product is going to be successful or not is when people come back and go, hey, Phil, you got to launch that product or I'm screwed. My joints are going to hurt forever. I need that product. Good sign. That was the sign we got that was the response we got on this ingredient. So here are the rules for how this ingredient applies. Once again, timing's a big deal. AprèsFlex Ovomet. Clinical research studies show that it starts to work within 5 to 7 days. Noticeable results. Here's my opinion. I noticed it had pretty decent results in the first 30 days. The Collavant N2, that is what we're driving to help with the immune imbalance related issues that causing joint issues, is 3 to 6 months. My personal experience is I noticed it working. I do not have immune imbalances. I noticed quite a bit in the first 30 days. I noticed a ton in months 3 to 6. By month 6, I was doing great, and I've been doing fantastic since then. That is also what we saw from other people using it. So that's Joint Complex. If you want that approach, it's a great approach. We hope you love it. We think you will. Bye.